talking about the M word, money. Financial advisor Lori Sackler is here to help us improve our conversations about wealth and our financial futures. Lori, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be with you today. Thanks for having me.
So why did you first write The Money Talk?
Well, for many years, I've witnessed families having a difficult time having productive conversations around money or just avoiding the topic altogether. And families oftentimes, in my experience, will make money decisions without carefully considering all the options and without engaging family members in the conversation. Those are going to be impacted. And inevitably, there can be a breakdown in communication and trust, a loss of family money and harmony. So my objective here was to write, the initial book 10 years ago to help answer the question why it's so hard, why it's so important, and provide people with a five-step process so they can engage in this process. I did a workbook in 2016, and now I've introduced the second edition in the aftermath of COVID and response to a different world that we live in. Mm-hmm. And what I'm seeing is, even though there seems to be more attention to the subject by the media, thanks to people like you, the financial services industry, and even the popular culture, I'm not seeing widespread adoption, and I'm only seeing information getting out there that just touches the surface. And quite frankly, we're seeing a generational shift and another wealth transfer. So I really felt it was important to put the second edition out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Why is it so hard to talk about money? Because people really struggle with this.
Yeah, it's a taboo topic for many families, and it's still an object of threat and control that families will use over members, and it just doesn't have to be that way. So what I try and do is explore a range of reasons. There's a lot of them. They're varied. It could be cultural barriers, could be gender differences, marriage politics, family history. There's a whole list of them that I try to explore in the book. But the concept is really about helping you find out what are the reasons, why is your family having such a difficult time having these conversations, so that you can begin to engage in these productive conversations, because there's a 70% failure rate in transferring assets across generations, and breakdown in communication and trust is the primary reason. And what I find in all transitions that people go through, there is a breakdown in communication and trust potentially, and a loss of family assets and harmony. So this has really kind of helped the public think through all these issues.
All right, such good advice. Okay, are we all destined to repeat the mistakes that maybe have come before us when it comes to money, or is there a way out?
That's a great question, because what I see is that patterns get repeated. We receive messages as young kids, and they're typically generational. They've been repeated. These behavior patterns have been repeated over generations. And so really the object here is for you to find out, to learn about your family history, mm-hmm. to figure out the money personalities. You can literally map out money personalities across generations to see these behavior patterns. So the first step is awareness, so that you don't have to repeat those mistakes.
Perfect. Lori, where can we go to buy your book?
Well, that's a good question. You can go to my website, themword.com, which will link you to Amazon, Barnes and Noble. I'm told it's available in many places, and it's really an opportunity for people to think about these issues and try and help their families have productive conversations during difficult times.
Perfect, Lori. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.